So, Favour, see, let's start this way. Help me define what mental health is itself, and maybe tell us how prevalent it is in our society.
Thank you, Ekene, for having me talk about mental health today. Mental health is something that is really very dear to my heart. When you ask the question to say what mental health is and how prevalent it is, I wanted to start by saying that there's a distinction between mental health and mental ill health.
Okay. Okay.
So I will explain what mental health is, then I will move on to talk about mental ill health.
Okay.
And then we can talk about the prevalence of mental ill health.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Very, very. See, as the more you tell us, the more we understand, and hey, it's good. It's good.
Okay. So let's start with mental health.
Okay.
So all of us have mental health. So mental health is a state of being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with, the normal stresses of life, can work productively, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community.
Okay.
So this is a WHO definition of mental health.
Okay.
So it's a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively, and is able to make contribution to his or her own community. So from what I've just read, kind of said to you about what WHO describes to be mental health, it then means that mental health is fundamental to our collective and individual ability as humans to think, emote, interact with each other, earn a living, and enjoy life, most importantly. So it's really mental health is part of health itself. So if you think about health, you think about physical health.
Yeah.
So the same way we think about mental health, so it's part of health. So mental health is more than absence of mental illness.
Okay.
Or mental disorder. That's why I said, most importantly, for individuals to be able to cope with normal stresses of life, work productively, able to contribute to community, and enjoy life.
Yeah.
So that means that mental health is much more than absence of mental illness. So is an integral and essential component of health.
Yeah.
So health itself is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. Okay. Not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So that's why it's important we understand that mental health is more than the absence of mental disorder.
Okay.
So when we now talk about mental ill health, so I will start by saying that poor mental health is what leads to mental ill health.
Okay.
So remember we said that mental health is our ability to realize or cope with normal stresses of life. Yeah. So that means then there are some multiple social, psychological, and biological factors that determine the level of mental health of a person at any point in time. So there are a couple of factors that determine this mental health we are talking about. Your ability to cope, be productive, and enjoy life.
Yes.
So when these factors determine your level of mental health, so any kind of abnormality in some of these factors, both social and psychological and biological, could lead to poor mental health.
Okay.
And poor mental health is really, really associated with rapid social change, stressful work condition, discrimination, social exclusion, unhealthy lifestyle, and sometimes physical ill health can lead to mental ill health.
Okay.
So I hope I've given kind of a background.
Yes, you
of
have.
what mental health and mental ill health look like.
Yeah. Yes. So how prevalent is it now?
Okay. So evidence suggests that at any point in life, 1 out of 4 people will experience mental health difficulty. So that means 1/4 of any population.
That's large.
Yes. And there's emerging evidence that seems to suggest that it's now 1 in every 3 persons.
Wow.
So it's still emerging. It's not yet conclusive, but perhaps maybe it's because of the COVID lockdown. But there's emerging evidence that suggests that it's moved on to 1 in 3. But empirical evidence is 1 in 4. So at any point in time, 1 in 4 people will experience mental health difficulty. And we'll talk about different types of mental health at some point.
Yeah.
But generally, anxiety and depression, there's evidence that suggests that 1 out of 10 people at any point in time experiences depression. Yeah. So generally 1 in 4, but depression 1 in 10.
Okay.